In today's yin practice, we'll be working on harmonizing the heart chakra, Anaharta, which is located in the center of our chest. Through gentle yoga poses designed to open this sacred space in our body, we can cultivate love, compassion, and empathy within ourselves and extend that out to others. Hello and welcome to your mat. I'm Hannah from Tula Being Mindful Movement, a space for you to find balance amongst the hustle and bustle of daily life. So go ahead, gather your cushions, your blankets, your yoga blocks for this nourishing time on your mat with me today. First pose that we're going to nestle into is a supported child's pose. I'm going to grab my bolster. You might want to grab some pillows from your bed or a rolled up blanket. I love to have a blanket underneath me when I practice my own yin, just to make it even more snuggly. You're welcome to do the same. So grabbing whatever cushions you might like, knees wide, big toes coming closer together, and then just nestling down as you can. So today is a heart-centered focused practice, Anaharta, love, compassion, and empathy. So let's see if we can sprinkle a little bit of self-love and gratitude towards ourselves into our practice along the way today. I've chosen to place forehead just lightly onto the bolster in front. You may not have something quite as long as I have, so you're welcome to rest forehead maybe on the back of your hands. Or perhaps you've placed a pillow or two underneath you. So let's already start by cleaning the slate for our practice. Noticing whether any judgmental thoughts may have already appeared in our vocabulary within our mind. Not judging ourselves for how high the hips are or how many cushions may be placed underneath us. Let's truly embrace whatever may be here in this moment now. You may already have an internal fight with your dialogue. So it might be worthwhile bringing to mind someone really near and dear. They could be real or imaginary. They could be alive and well or from a past life. Imagine that person standing right next to you, giving you a little fist pump, a rub on the back, saying that they love you. That ultimately they think you're great. See if you can start to take on some of the power of those words and those feelings as you imagine your bestie basically celebrating you. We'll keep this theme of celebration throughout our practice as we move through to the second pose, which will be puppy pose. I'm going to remove my bolster. You might choose to have something just snuggled under your forehead, but possibly no need for the big cushions at this point. So I've started in a shape that looks a little bit like tabletop. I've just come down onto the forearms. But at the moment, I'm just balancing my hips roughly on top of the knees. The knees are not quite as wide as they were in child's pose now, but knees roughly under the hips. And then this could be a variation of your puppy pose, and it might be that you're going to be comfortable enough to stay here for a while. It might be that you'll need to drop out of this pose sooner, as we're using quite a lot of strength through the forearms to hold in place. If you feel like you can go further with your arms, you're going to start to walk them further forwards. And at this point, let your heart begin to melt, also known as melting heart pose, towards the earth. A little suggestion with the elbows here is to not go too narrow. In fact, you can really go quite wide. You could even bring the hands closer together, keeping the elbows wide. We want to be comfortable through those shoulders. Some of you will be comfortable enough to rest the forehead towards the earth. And it could be that your hips are a little behind the knees or a little in front. Just figuring out where it feels appropriate for your body to rest now. So melting heart pose can have a bit of balance between feelings perhaps of vulnerability as we have that heart space open wide, with a sense of grounding as we surrender our physical being, our physical body, towards the earth in this manner, almost like we're bowing down to the ground. See if we can feel nurtured by the sense of earthing in what can feel somewhat open and vulnerable in terms of physically opening through collarbones and heart space. Maybe you imagine that inner voice or best friend simply whispering, "You're okay." We're staying for about another 3 full inhales and exhales. If there's any more room to soften through arms, through neck, through hips, see if it's possible now. When you're ready to release from this pose, we'll go ahead and lay on our belly, or if it's more comfortable, lying onto your back as a moment to rebound. See if you can stay with the sensations of rebound, the subtle changes within the physical body here. Again, without judgment, without critique, just with a sense of curiosity. Today's practice has also a focus on stability and grounding, on earthing, which can be incredibly nourishing. But when that swings a little too extreme, it can also mean that we struggle to change our ideas or to cope with change. So seeing if we can use this simple moment of rebound to observe the subtleties of change as the body's elasticity works its wonders, opening up blockages within the chakras, meridians. We're going to head towards a little rebound pose and go for a forward fold. So come on up to sit. We'll go for a forward butterfly shape. So you might want to grab your cushions or your bolster again in this moment. You can, of course, do this practice with no props at all. But remember, it is yin, so we're not deeply stretching or forcing the body. We're only going to about sort of 60%, maybe even less, of our natural flexibility. So depending on what shape your pillows, your bolsters are, you might need to manipulate the shape. I've gone for a butterfly with those feet, where the feet have been placed on purpose quite far away from the hips. And then just seeing if I can go for a forward fold here. Time to go inwards, become a little more introspective. Instead of imagining that someone dear to you is whispering those well wishes, is it at all possible that you could imagine that you send those well wishes towards yourself now? Maybe even picturing an image of yourself, whispering kind and encouraging words that might be really necessary for you to hear today. I can help you out with a little example. I wish you well. I wish you to feel safe. I wish you to feel grounded. And just gathering thoughts again to the physical body and seeing if there's any more room to snuggle into for the last 3 breaths here. And then slowly unraveling. We're going to go ahead and lie onto our spine and keep your blocks or your bolster nearby. And then slowly we'll want to be grabbing a few items here, but I suggest that you roll to the side and sit yourself up again. So I'm going to offer two options with your props depending on what you've got. So it could be that we're going to simply grab our bolster or cushions and we'll go ahead and lie back, recline butterfly as our last posture today. So it could be that you'll have your bolster lengthways. Maybe you even have something underneath the head to lift it even higher. And then we're just going ahead and leaning our way back along the length of the bolster. You could have soles of feet together, knees wide, or if you'd rather a different shape now of the legs, very welcome to try a TP of those legs, or long legs even. The second option I would like to offer is with the two blocks if you have them. So I'm just going to remove the bolster out to the side. And I'm also going to place my blanket on top. So I'll just go ahead and move the blanket a little bit away as well. So this is just an option I'm offering today. It doesn't mean that this is how you always have to set things up when you use blocks. It's just something that we're trying today. So I've placed one block that's going to be placed between the shoulder blades, and then the other one balances. And I'm going to balance the base of my skull, the occiput, right on the edge of that second block. And that's where this blanket can come in handy to be placed over the top to give yourself a little extra cushioning. Obviously, it's a little bit precarious as you lean back, so you'll want to take care as you do that. You might try this and then decide it isn't for you today, as of course it's going to feel a little more intense than using cushions or a bolster. Might take a little bit of setting up in the right position. I'm a little too far towards one end. And we're trying to balance right the base of the skull, right on the edge of that block that is teetering on its edge. And I'm choosing to TP the feet today, the legs, and creating a bit of a Savasana style arms. You might notice that the breath becomes a little caught initially. Over time, see if it is possible to fill out and extend the breath. Those of you who are trialing the two blocks may feel high intensity in terms of sensation. You're never trying to find a sense of pain in the body, but there might be bordering on discomfort at times. And in our yin practice, it's a safe space for you to find what your edge is, and knowing that you can back away at any time that you need to. See if you can utilize your breath as a stabilizing tool here. Bringing awareness back to the physical body, back to the present moment, your surroundings. As you take 3 more breaths. And slowly we want to come off of our props. You want to do so slow and mindfully that feels right for you. So just thinking it through, mapping out what muscles you need to engage so that you can slowly lift up and off. You might choose to do something similar to what you see myself do, a little gentle bow forwards just upon release. And then we're going to move all the props out of the way. You might simply gather a prop under the back of the head or behind the knees for our time into Savasana. And a little wiggle of fingers and of toes. An extension from finger to toe. We roll it to the side and lift your way upright to seated. Thumbs to heart, thumbs to forehead. Thank you as always for joining in today's stable, grounding and loving yin practice. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching this video and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula Being free and accessible to all.